Together, let's embark on a scientific exploration of yoga, where you are the scientist, your heart is the laboratory, and you are the outcome. Welcome to Meditate with Daaji. This week we will continue to put questions to Daaji. We have been receiving lots of questions from the viewers, and we have attempted to put similar questions together and put them in front of Daaji. Let's all try and make use of the wisdom and guidance of Daaji as he answers these very common questions that come to all of us. So let's start the question-answer session, and after that, like always, we will meditate with Daaji.
My salutations to Dr. Srinivas Garu also. He is the director at All India Institute of Medical Sciences and a very good friend of ours who has taken up like a fish in water, swimming in Sahaj Marg. Very well, and I'm very happy. Without any further delay, we'll proceed with this Q&A. Whatever questions you may have, you can ask.
Daaji, pranam to you. They have made me a part of the youth here, lot of vibrations and your blessings from everywhere, This is a question from Risha, sister. How can we differentiate between our heart's voice and the brain's voice?
That's very simple. Heart's voice is always, it's like an alarm that goes off. Suppose there is a security in your window, and if the security is broken at your window, it will start making sound. Same thing happens when the car is broken into, your security system will go off and it will start giving you the siren very loudly. Think, for example, Nisha, you go home at 1 o'clock at night. Rather, it's 1 o'clock morning. And your mother asks, Nisha, where were you? I mean, it's a natural question. And you say, oh, mommy, I was with my friend studying, late studying, but in fact you were partying. Right? What will your heart say at that time? Your heart will miss 2-3 beats at the same time, and your heart will also become heavier. Isn't it? Whenever you have to speak a lie, heart becomes heavier. Whenever we are about to do something wrong, heart becomes heavier. Revisit all the actions you have done so far and understand the signals of the heart. They are very easy to understand. We don't want to listen to heart because heart is always giving you the signals of what not to do. And you don't want to listen to that, see. You want to do what your mind says, something that is easier, something that you can go without much efforts. Everybody chooses that, between the lift and walking on the steps, on the ladder. People choose that all the time. Now, when your eyes or your ears or your nose, all your senses are working in order, you don't congratulate your nose for smelling as it should. You don't congratulate your eyes when it is seeing properly. It is only when you are not able to hear well, then you say, oh, something is wrong. Or when you lose sense of smell, then you start wondering, maybe I have COVID perhaps, and let me go check it out. Right? So when bodily functions or emotional functions are going very well, there is nothing to worry about. It is only when something goes wrong in your decision making that heart speaks louder. Listen to it, follow it with courage. All your decisions so far that you have made, and when you have told your heart to shut up, what was the consequence of it? Next question, sir.
So they asked me, I was in the group number 2, and they were asking, as we grow up and got a lot of success, how do we manage the ego? I know I answered them that they asked me this question. I said, you ask Daaji, and he will mesmerize with his answer, I said.
Ah, there is nothing wrong in being successful on the hierarchical ladder. It's good. You see, Dr. Srinivas is a director of All India Institute of Medical Sciences. It's the topmost position in India today as far as hospitals are concerned. You cannot wish for anything better, right? But see his real life, what time he sleeps, what time he wakes up. To stay on the top, you have to work very hard. Have you seen the top, the spin? When you spin the top, it keeps on moving, spirally. And when it slows down, it is going to fall. So on the ladder of growth, you just cannot afford to slow down. That's number one. Number two, ego is good. Many people say ego is very bad. To me, ego is good. To me, stress is good. To me, the mind is good. Many people say mind is your enemy, but mind is not your enemy. Mind can be your best friend if you use your mind wisely. It is only through the mind that you are able to educate yourself. So why curse it? People in yoga especially, they have a habit of cursing their mind because they can't focus their mind and say, I want to become thoughtless. How can you make your mind thoughtless? The natural function of the mind is to think, and you cannot become unnatural. Mind is to think, tongue is to taste, eyes are to see. These are natural functions. But we have to train our mind to think on one subject and one subject only during meditation. And at that time, the subject of our meditation is the presence of divine light, and we are trying to attract that grace into our heart, and we're trying to experience that presence, that is mind. When it comes to ego can be a great help for us. Ask any sports person. You got to have a great ego to win a game, right? You have to prepare yourself to be number one. Nothing wrong. Later on, if you become number two, you accept it with all humility. But when you become the champion, you don't allow the arrogance get into your head and say, I am the best and there is nobody better than me on this globe. Then that ego has turned into arrogance. Then it will not be good. To use this ego wisely, for example, if you are able to run 100 meters in 2 minutes, your ego will prompt you to finish that next time in 1.8 minutes or later on in 1.5 minutes. So your ego is always driving you and say, I have to become better and better and better. So it is a positive use of ego. Now when it comes to stress, I was recently attending one college, and they were all master's program and in PhD. one of the faculty members asked me, during the exams or just before exam, the students undergo so much of stress. Can meditation help? And I said, surely meditation can help, but why do you want to remove the stress from the students? Let them have stress, otherwise they are not going to study. Isn't it? Who can study when you have zero stress? A responsible child, one who feels that yes, I have to excel, I have to learn, I have to become better. And what sort of professors or lecturers you are, knowingly very well that students are under stress and you keep observing that. How did you teach your students all throughout the year that your students still have stress? I don't know if that professor took my answer lightly or smilingly, but it is the responsibility of the professors, lecturers to create interest. It's not about teaching. To me, people who are guiding the young minds, they should be able to inspire them. That's all their role is. Rest of the thing we can always learn from internet, much better than these professors can. Hand-to-hand, face-to-face learning is to inspire. Learn this, learn that, visit this website or read these books, see what I have done with it. Make them experiment. Problem with Indian education is there is no realistic example during the studies. For example, thermodynamics. You study thermodynamics, and while studying you have no idea whatsoever of practical uses of thermodynamics. So it has to be relatable. Education has to be relatable with practical aspects of our life. So ego, don't worry about ego. If you have the ability of making 1 crore, don't be satisfied with 1 crore. Go ahead and make 10 crores. Don't waste your potential. Make 10 crores. Spend it wisely, earn it wisely.
Now, let's all meditate with Daaji.
You all know how to meditate, and perhaps some of you do not really know how to meditate and joining us for the first time. This is how we meditate. Heartfulness way of meditation, it's very simple. Feel relaxed. Remove all the distractions if you might have. Something like phones. And focus on the presence of divine light in our heart. Think that this divine light is attracting your attention inward, and retain this thought as long as you can. By chance you happen to move away from this noble idea, when you are overwhelmed by so many thoughts, just remind yourself that right now I am meditating on the presence of divine light. Let's all begin meditation. That's all. Please make a note of how you felt. Let's write our observations.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Meditate with Daaji. See you again next week.